gentlemen, so today we are doing a bit of a different kind of video for me. I generally do not do unboxing videos. In fact, I have never done an unboxing video, but today we're going to do an unboxing video. So the reason we are is the last batch of arrows I got, I didn't weigh. So before I touch these ones, we're going to weigh them. Now, I'm also going to take the bare shaft and weigh it, just so you guys can get an idea. I'm pulling off my tail weight, okay? You might think, but I'm not, and the reason is that knock is broken and it's missing fletching. So to account for some of that weight, I'm going to add this. So let's just make sure you guys can see this to some degree here. All right. Now, we want to make sure nothing else is touching our shaft. And look at that. That's a pretty heavy arrow, you might think, but it's really not bad. We're looking at 30.8. Now, I have way heavier arrows that I have fired, guys. 30 grams is not bad. In fact, the last batch were in the 38 to 42 range. But they're longer. Or at least they're supposed to be. So, next, we're going to try our new broadheads. They actually came looking pretty good. These were $8, guys. I'm going to check the weight. Look at that. We're looking at 9.2 grams, guys, which is actually a really nice nose weight. So we're going to put those aside because I have a feeling I'm really going to like them. And we're going to go over here. So I want to be very careful here and just show you guys the vendor. Even though my information is there, you come over it, you will die slowly. Never sneak into the house of a guy who does archery. Okay? So you have your vendor name in here as well, so you guys can look through there if you need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these open, and we're going to take a look. Now, as you can see, there's no real box there, okay? So we're not looking at a situation where my fletchings are all going to be minty good. It's probably the other way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully take one of these like this. I do not want to be puncturing through the bag here, guys. As you can see, I've not gone all the way through, okay? That's why I didn't cut all the way through here. But look at these. These are actually quite nice. Look at that. Those are nice little arrows, man. Now, you are going to see some damaged fletching. So, given the way that they were shipped. So, let's do this. So now, we're going to take one of these arrows, and we're going to weigh it as it came from the factory, you guys. And look at that, 33. So these are actually a little heavier than the other arrows, even though they are supposed to be an inch shorter, guys. And they're not. Exactly the same length. Which means these ones also are 29.5, which isn't bad. I'm actually not upset. That's good. Having them at this weight is not bad at all. The nocks are slightly different than those other nocks. They actually feel like they have slightly more grip. These are also different fletchings, but the same tips. So we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to look through these fletchings. I'm going to take any one that's damaged in any way. I'm going to look down, and any one that's perfect goes into a quiver right away. So I'm just taking a look at each one, and what you want to do is look down over top and see if they look straight. If you see anything really screwed up like this fletching here, you put that aside. So I'm just going through each one. Every one so far except one has been abused. But I mean, you know, see that edge? That's kicked over way too far. But these are all, as I've shown, correctable, right? So this one's pretty perfect. That one actually looks really good. We're going to fire that. Definitely needs redoing. So most of these are looking like they need a complete redo for the fletchings, which is kind of what I expected, guys. That's why I like to show you guys my methods. Some of them are okay, I mean, literally, generally, you get a set of 12, you're only going to get 3 or 4 that are decent anyway. You might think, but it all depends on the fletchings. Now, if they'd have put this in a box, I would have 12 really nice arrows right now, and I know it. Instead, this is how many of my arrows are screwed. 2, 4, 6, 8. And some of them are so badly damaged. We're going to go over the side so you can see over top. There's one. Look at that. You think that's going to shoot? Look at that. And that. And that. Now, I like the arrows. The arrows look really good. I'm not complaining. But what I will say to this company is these are really nice arrows. Charge me an extra $10. I'll pay for the box. Now, that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one of these guys and give it a fire just to see how it works. Now, I don't know which way the fletchings are supposed to go in yet. I'm just going to check. Ooh, not bad. So it flew pretty well. Now, I'm not expecting these to fly perfectly straight yet, which is why I'm not going to take them and shoot them yet, and except to test fire this one and see that it worked. It's not a bad arrow, but it's still not perfect. None of those were perfect, guys. But the best one I put away in a quiver. So we're technically looking at 4 that work, that are suitable, okay? Out of 12. Now, if you were to look at standardized fletchings anyway, you'll find it's about that in a mixed group. You're only going to get so many. But see this? That's a mess up. See these? The rest of these are decent. So, I do need to make a lot of changes here, you might think, but not so much. There's just little minor things that I need to do to adjust these, and that's it, that's all. And so, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start my adjustment process, okay? And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take some of these heat shrink materials. I'm going to push it right in, right through. And now when we get to this end, we're just going to start to turn. Start to turn. And now we're going to hold right about there. It's going to repair those fletchings. I'm not even heat shrinking this, guys. I'm just going to leave them sit like that. See that? What matters is that you favor the direction of the rotation that it needs to be there, right? So given how well the last batch of my fletchings worked, I'm just going to repeat that process here and see if we can get things worked out as well as I would like. Now, I'm just going to dump my cigarette here. Now, I did get some broadheads as well, as I've shown, and in the end, these arrows are actually really good quality from what I'm seeing as far as that goes. I actually like the feel of the fletchings. They actually feel better than the other fletchings too. That is to say, better than the last batch that I got. And even though they are from the same vendor and they are from the same company, I will say, you know, in both cases, I had thought for sure I must have ordered 29 inches by accident. And you can see here, we got another problem, right? So what we're going to do is, on the opposite end of that, we're going to take a thicker heat shrink tubing. Not this, okay? Where we're going thick. Okay, here, hold on. Let me put you guys back in your proper posizione. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So you're going to take these wide ones and these narrow ones. A narrow one goes on the front. The wider one, we're going to put right over top of that and put it over to the other fletchings. And this is how we design our fletchings, guys. So now, I have 2 different curls built in. One at the back, one at the front, okay? So, any one where the fletching is damaged really badly, deep up, that's how I'm going to fix it. So, I've still got a few of these. Bear with me. We're just going to go through the process here. So, we're going to take some of these guys. Now, don't forget, too, we're not permanently using these. This one actually looks like it'll fly just fine. So, this one we're going to put aside. I'm going to actually put that one into my quiver. But this, you can see how beat up that is. I mean, if you look from over top, guys, look at that. Isn't that horrifying? But as bad as that is, it can be fixed. So I'm just going to push it into its little casing here. Boom, boom. Be very careful while you're doing this part, You don't want to lift the edges of the fletchings. So now that we've got that done, we're going to take this part and we're going to run it in this way. Just like this. And this way we'll get two different helicals at different points in the arrow, which is what we want. So now I'm going to take a look at this one. It's equally messed up, so we got to fix it. Now, in addition to that, I may have gotten a dozen arrows, guys, but I only got half a dozen broadheads. Now, these two look the same size, guys. They're not. And when you look carefully, this is the size you want. If it's too tight, like this is good, it fits loose, and you can just kind of slide it in. That's what you need, guys. You don't want anything else. Now, in this one, I've actually twisted the helical the opposite direction, but that's not a bad thing. I'll show you guys why I'm doing that after. So, we're going to go back. And again, I've already got the one on, and it may seem odd, but this is one of the reasons you need a bigger one for the second one. And it's because they're also going higher up the fletching path. So, like that. So now that we've got them up the fletching path, and I'm seeing that they look nice and even. I'm going to set that aside. Now all of these are going to get set into a quiver and left overnight. Again, look from over top and look. And honestly, from what I'm seeing here, there's nothing wrong with these arrows. They're incredibly nice. The only thing, and I do mean the only thing I'm seeing wrong, is that they didn't come in a box. And once again, I will tell you fine folks, give me a box. I'll pay for it. Because you guys are awesome. I'm loving the arrows. They came at a really cheap price. And honestly, even if I'd have bought bare shafts and had to fletch them from scratch myself, guys, this would still be a really good deal price-wise. And they come with the nocks and the tips. And the tips are actually quite good. So I'll show you those, brand new. They do come quite loose. I just wanted to show whether or not these tips actually fit my arrows. And they fit them like a glove, guys. So, the threads are correct count. You know, when I was doing RC aircraft, I had this problem where every time I bought different things that were threaded, they were different spline and different thread counts and different thread depths, which created problems and meant they wouldn't thread together and I couldn't use them together. I was worried this was going to be the same problem. So, here we go. I've got my arrows all taken care of. We got 2, 4, 6, 7 that needed to have their fletchings completely redone. Which means those 7 go aside. Here are the arrows in question. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on. We're going to weigh each tip. And look what I was telling you guys. These are so heavy. 6.5 grams. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at this upside down. So we got 9.5. And we got 6.5. Okay, well, I've held both of these in my hands, and that's bullshit. One is lighter, clearly, than the other. And this is the heavier one by far. 6.5 grams. 9.5. I don't even know how that's possible. Because when you feel this one, it feels, it's because it's smaller. Look how small it is. And putting that much weight into that tiny spot tends to give a bit of a weight imbalance to these arrows, guys. So what we're going to do is I'm actually just going to slide some of these together like this so that I will have a set of lethal arrows that are huntable. You can see how loose they were on here too. Now, what I like is that these actually feel a little snugger than the original tips, which is good. Very good, because they all come pretty loose. Like, you put one on and it's loosey-goosey, whereas you put one of these on and it seems to fit. This is what I'm talking about. They fit a little loosey-goosey, which is fine. It's not that bad. So here's our third one. And the good news is I keep these extra tips, right? So I now have extra target tips in case I need them or for other arrows. And in fact, I brought a Barnett just for that reason. In fact, I didn't. I thought I had grabbed all these arrows, but that's okay. So again, we got one more left. So I'm going to pick one of the other set add it to this set. But these are my best ones. You notice all my hunting arrows, I went for arrows that had not been abused. And I also went for arrows that were, oh, look at that. I could drill that out and fit that in, but I don't want to do that. What I was thinking was I could epoxy some of these in, and that would be fine as well. I'm not planning on actually doing that right now, so it's fine. However, one of these I just set up, and I noticed it wasn't so bad. So I am going to take this one. I'm going to pop this target tip off. Sorry about the light. My phone is starting to overheat there, guys, so I'm going to end this one real quick. And this will be the end. Now, I did want to show these real close up. They do look pretty good. And this is a nice set of broadheads, guys. They are decent for sure. I've got a nice set of arrows that shoot very well from what I've seen in the past, but I need times to let these fletchings come back. Now, this is not anybody's fault. If the vendor is going to ship these this far, that cheap, they have no choice, really. And if they are going to add a box, we're paying for it. In my case, I don't mind paying for the box, guys. So please put something this good in a box so that I can get good fletchings, and I will pay for the box. I love you guys. You've done a great job. Again, the arrows look amazing. I'm really happy with the broadheads and the arrows, guys. I normally don't do an unboxing video, but I wanted to be here with you guys when I tried these the first time and see if they really fit. If they didn't, I wanted to show you. I also wanted to see my nocks. Like I said, these are the same shaft, same length, same everything. In fact, I could have sworn I ordered 29 the first time because they came at 29.5. But thinking about it after, I was like, man, I'm sure I ordered 28-inch arrows. And I did. And sure enough, they come out. These are exactly the same 29.5, which is actually good. They're also just slightly lighter than the other arrows, which is also good. And they have slightly different fletchings. So now we have a built arrow. We're going to check the weight of that built arrow, you guys. Because it's one thing to check the weight of a stock arrow. It's another thing to check the weight of a built arrow. That is with a tip and insert already finished. Take a look at the weight. So we can see you need to have this stable, guys. You don't want it bouncing all over like that. You just don't. Or you'll never get a stable reading. So what are we looking at here? 35,945. So we're looking basically 40 grams. Now, some of the better arrows I've had, we're firing right around that, guys. So let's just take a quickie. And this way we can document how these arrows come along. Unfortunately, I can't really give you guys light for this one, or else we're in trouble, because light is dangerous. That's all I tell you. Light is dangerous. No, it's because it's heating up my phone, and I'm going to see how this goes. Oh, that's not bad. Considering my fletchings are not done yet, and it hit the pin, it actually touched the pin on its way in, so that's not bad. And at 40 gram weight, you know, they're pretty heavy. But at the same time, 40 grams ain't so bad, man. Look at that. Hit the pin right away, guys. Again, you know, getting good penetration out of these broadheads. Very good. I'm very happy. These are huntable arrows that I could go hunting with right now. And look at that. It didn't look like it was going to be all that great, but the conical's right. Here, hold on. Screw the phone. Hope it doesn't die. This is right. Okay? And that matters. So, we're going to kill this. I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to set these all up. And then I'll shoot them, and I'll tell you how quickly they come loose, and I'll show you how accurate they are in future videos. For now, that was great, because I didn't even use the pin. I just lined up, aimed for the pin, and hit perfect. And even when I kicked the tail around, it came in on the pin. So that's 2 shots, 2 successes with 2 different arrows. I got no complaints there. I don't want to ram all my arrows in there because I have good tips on them. I do not want to be damaging them. I will be firing them one at a time. Keith out.